Honestly, we were like, it was a trauma. And then at the end, we were like, it was kind of fun, actually. Yeah, are we recording? Okay, I'll do it right now then.
All right.
So everybody gets Spotify Wrapped, but for Worthless Clowns, like we get Spotify Wrapped for like the listeners and shit.
Yep.
So, okay, first of all, this is the cool part. We were the #1 show for 29 of our listeners. So 29 of our listeners listen to us more than any other podcast.
Oh.
It's probably all our friends and family.
Yeah.
And they also, this is my favorite part of it. Man, I'm still sweating from being outside. This is my favorite part of it. So they tell you what your listeners are into.
Oh, wait, can I make a guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Pro wrestling?
Yes.
Feet?
No.
It's not
This is Spotify. That's YouTube.
Oh, right. YouTube. Pro wrestling, like new metal and stuff.
Well, I only wrote down, okay.
Rats, bugs.
They don't say the interests of our listeners. They just say what their Spotify stuff is.
Oh, with their Spotify.
Yeah, they're not like, you like Worthless Clowns? Do you also,
There's no
what's your favorite animals?
Yeah. What are your dads like?
So the top listened to podcast by most of our listeners was the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, yeah? Interesting.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
For your anime podcast?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that
Whoa.
just because Joe
He's
Rogan
so
is such a
prolific?
big pod that it's like easy to overlap?
I hypothesize that's because he's popular and because the episodes are so fucking long. That
Oh.
so much more time listened.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that
that's
makes
smart.
so
Were you on the
sense.
mic for that?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You can't
God.
hear it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you can't
great.
hear it, yeah.
So their top music genres, I wrote down 3.
Metal?
First one, classical music.
Classical.
Yeah.
You know, I think that makes some sense.
They're smart. And then indie rock.
Okay, yeah.
And then rap music.
Huh, a rap music.
And then this is my favorite. This is my favorite part, and this is the last thing. So they tell you what genre of audiobooks they're into. First one, self-help.
That's just like Instagram got it right.
I know.
When you search Instagram and it says, and you
Yeah.
search worthless and it's like, do you need to talk to somebody?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the word
Oh.
worthless. Maybe the people searching us up are just posting suicidal shit. Who knows?
Yeah. Man, that's hilarious.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But thank you for all of our
Thank you guys
listeners.
for listening.
And
And thank you, Joe and Anna.
yes,
For coming out to
my
my
God.
special taping.
Anna, who came all the way
earlier
down
this
from
week.
fucking Philly or
Yeah.
up from Philly.
Yeah.
Thank
Joe
you so
just
much.
from Queens?
The Bronx.
The Bronx.
Yeah.
Dang. We'll cut that.
So 2 of our listeners came to the
Yeah.
Brittany
That was so
special.
nice.
That was so amazing. Thank you so much for coming. We love
And
you
we
guys.
had so much fun. Ali did a spot. She crushed.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
you crushed. It was your special.
Oh,
you did
I
amazing.
would agree. This time.
Both shows.
Yeah.
Both shows crushed. Truly. It was awesome.
It was so much
It
fun.
was so fantastic.
Yeah. I am just so glad it's over.
Mm.
I was depressed the next day. A little. But I'm also just relieved. I was checking ticket sales probably every 10 minutes for the last like month and a half.
No,
or
totally.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like the way that you do stuff, which is like so amazing, and is also neurotic, is like you really go balls to the wall. Because we talk about this all the time. Like having a show in New York is really hard.
Mhm.
So you just kind of have to do everything because nobody really knows
And
what
you
actually
don't-
works.
Yeah, you don't know what's working.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
you probably were emailing and posting flyers and
Oh my
sending
God.
DMs just every
Yes.
minute of every day for
I
6
was.
months. Yeah.
And it worked out.
And it worked. It worked. You
Both
sold out
shows
both
were
shows.
packed. Yeah. It was so fun.
Incredible.
Nothing
Fantastic
really
job.
funny to say about it, except the second crowd was so good that I was like, we're not going to be able to edit this together with the first crowd, which was also good.
I think
But they
that
were
you
just
will.
so different.
Yeah, I think that you will.
Yeah. Maybe.
Depending on how they shot it.
Yeah.
But there was one funny part. There's one thing that happened in the first.
Yeah, actually, I can't remember anything that happened. I
Really?
think because I was in a whole different state.
Totally. Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So, yes, please tell me what
So in
happened.
the first
that night.
one-
I'm like blacked out for it. All I know is I did all the jokes I was supposed to do. I don't remember anything
Yeah,
else.
that's right. So in the first one, your mic was like making, as you moved, it made like clicking sounds. Mm-hmm. And Gastor Alamonte, one of our previous guests who hosted, handled it so professionally, so gracefully. Really, really hard thing to do is to go up in the middle of a 40 or hour long set and not interrupt it, but make it clear what's happening and keep the energy up.
Yeah.
And
he's great.
He did it like so perfectly. Mm-hmm. And like you were in the middle of that joke where you're like, NXT, NXT.
Pro wrestling joke.
Yeah, your pro wrestling joke. And then
I remember this.
People started chanting, switch it out, switch it out. And do you want to know who started it? It was me. I started it.
Of course you did.
And then like the chant like ended and Gastor got off stage and you were like, where was I? And everybody was like, sports. Like they remembered the joke that you were on because it was like so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Truly incredible.
Also, when that happened, it was helpful that I could hear the popping a little bit in the mic, but I was like, I think I can only hear it and I just have to ignore it. It was bothering me, but I was like, I'll just ignore this.
I could like barely hear it, but
yeah, when he came up, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
It's going bad.
Like, Brittany, you're doing a great job. This is every comedian's worst nightmare. Yeah. I promise it's not that. Just Gastor getting on stage being like, stop telling that joke.
Yeah. Hey, no pro wrestling material. Like he's offended. He runs up there. He smacks me.
Yeah, like the content of the joke, like wouldn't even warrant anybody getting mad.
No.
It was like so like it was like just so inoffensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gastor, absolutely incredible. Crushed both shows. Everybody crushed both shows.
Man, it was great. I'm so glad it's over. You'll be hearing more about it once it's out and I gotta promote it for a year, whatever. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I can't wait. I wish it was really over.
Well, you can also like edit it in your own time. You can take like 4 months and then
I think it will take a while.
And then start editing it. You know what I mean? Like that's what Dave did. Dave just started editing his.
He's editing his own?
Well, he started because you have to work with the editor.
Yeah.
To be like, I like this, you have to watch it a million fucking times.
Yeah.
But he like just started it and he recorded his in fucking June. So
okay.
Anyway, welcome to Worthless Clowns.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns. Good job getting that intro.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's a podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Brittany's Cardwell on Instagram.
And I'm Ali O'Neill. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Ali O'Neill. Follow the Worthless Clowns. Follow the Worthless Clowns Instagram.
I said clams on accident. That is not
Worthless Clams.
Yeah, clams.
We'll have a seafood boil. And follow our YouTube. Subscribe to our fucking Spotify, even though we do have 29 listeners where we're their number one listened to podcast, we still have like 0 listeners. So tell your friends to subscribe, please.
We still need people.
We still don't make any money off. We're actually in the red making this. So if you could tell more people and we could maybe
I would love
at least
to know
break
the
even.
number of people who hear that we're in the red and decide we're not valuable anymore and they will not listen to us. I don't think it's many.
I think you're projecting.
And I also think the people that would do that are
wouldn't like this pod.
No.
Yeah. They wouldn't like a self-deprecating podcast.
Yeah.
But all right, updates. Sorry, I'm really on a fucking roll today. Jesus.
What do I got for updates? Well, we got a joint update we can get to soon.
Oh yeah, let's do little itty bitty ones.
You got any Thanksgiving stuff?
I do. I have Thanksgiving stuff. Do you?
Nothing specific. Let's just do yours.
So Dave came to Thanksgiving. He met my brother for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Both Owen and Dave are like funny, nice men who want the best for me, so they got along right away.
Yeah.
In that way. But the thing that like really turned them into friends is, so Dave likes to, some of the people who listen to his podcast, I'm sure you're familiar with this. He likes to, there's this like AI app where you write lyrics and you tell it a genre of music and it'll make a song, like an AI song. So naturally, Dave makes a bunch of songs about his friends being gay and his friends' dicks being small and me being a bitch and stuff. And so he makes
have the bitch song with you?
I don't, but
we should play it on
it's
the
a song
pod.
about me having a fat ass and also being a bitch. And both are correct. And so Dave was showing those to Owen, and Owen was laying on the floor, like crying and losing his mind laughing. He like, I've never like seen him like that. That's how much he was laughing.
I have not seen Owen much at all because I only met him once.
Yeah.
We didn't spend a ton of time together.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems so calm and subdued that it is hilarious just to imagine him like reacting at all.
Yeah. He is like a very like chill guy. But
just
he
to see him catch a baseball he didn't know he was going to catch would be like hilarious. Because it'd be any type of, for me, knowing nothing about him except that he was so calm.
Any kind of baseball that he wasn't expecting to catch.
Or something.
Or something like that. So specific. So weirdly specific. Or something like that. By the way. So my brother was like losing his fucking mind. And then the next day we had to leave. And Owen was like, Dave, you're coming back for Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna write more piss songs and come back for Christmas, right? And then
should we do an early Christmas?
Yeah.
Like wants it to be immediate.
And then on the way home, me and Dave were driving home, and Owen sent Dave a AI song about pissing in a bottle, and it's called "Piss Bottle Catheter."
How was it?
It was good.
Pretty
it was
good for
really
a first
good.
song. Do you think he did a few drafts? Is he that kind of guy?
He may or may not have. He probably. I don't think he did a few drafts.
I really hope Dave likes me.
I think he worked really hard on it, though.
Yeah.
And it was just like piss, 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 piss bottle catheter.
Did it remind you of Tyler Childers at all? What kind of genre?
It was country. It was country music, but it was more like Coulter Wall. Do you know who that is?
I don't know Coulter.
It's like a slightly different like kind of country music, but
Nice.
yeah, it was like outlaw country kind of like Zach Bryan-y almost. I don't know.
Yeah, I shouldn't have even brought it up. I don't really know anything current, or I only know a few people. I feel like.
Oh
actually,
yeah, totally. Yeah,
and I feel like none of them really fit that well. I only know the main guys like Garth Brooks and whatever.
of course, the main
Toby?
guy,
Toby.
Toby Keith,
Yeah.
who wrote one of my favorite songs, courtesy
really?
of the Red, White, and Blue.
Oh.
That's the song
Is
that's
that
like,
the one?
I'll stick a boot in your
Oh, yeah,
ass.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
the which I do not like the message of, but it does fucking slap, dude. And if 9/11 just happened, it would be my top song of the year.
Oh, that was right after 9/11?
Yes.
It was about 9/11?
Yeah, no, he literally like sings about Muslim people in the song, which
my
is
God.
fucked up. And I do not condone that.
Yeah.
But the song slaps. Okay, I don't know what to say, dude.
Just listen to the acoustic version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody should do a cover of it,
Yeah.
and then I could give the money to them
Yeah.
because I do stream it, and that sucks.
There you go.
Toby Keith's estate is getting 1/4 of a cent every time I listen to that song.
Yeah.
But anyway,
We had a bunch of comics over, me and Dwayne.
Mhm.
We missed you guys. And we played this board game that I immediately got addicted to.
man, you love games.
Only some. This one was
I'm sorry. Only some. Only some.
there are a lot of games that I have no interest in, and then I might play, and I'm like, yeah, I knew it. I knew I wouldn't care.
I don't know. I
But
feel
I'll
like,
get very interested in little things, like, geez, I just hit the mic at my face.
yeah.
Like I played solitaire for so long. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's not like a great game or anything.
Well, also, I remember that one time you were at Chloe Radcliffe's house for
Oh,
something,
the
and
puzzle.
you like didn't talk to anybody all night. 'Cause you
Yeah.
were working on that little puzzle.
Yeah. Anyway, we played this board game. It's not even a board game, really. It's called Fake Artist in New York. Have you heard of
Mhm.
this?
No.
It's one of those, those games where it's like someone is the murderer,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Something like that. It's not one of those, but it's like got similar elements to it. So in the game, there's like a guy, like a master of whatever. It's not Dungeons and Dragons, but there's one guy who knows what's going on.
Yeah.
You play in a big group, and that person just picks like a topic, like animal,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone knows what the topic is.
I see why you like it.
Yeah, because we started with animal.
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
didn't start that way,
You were like, I can
I'd
name
probably
so
been
many
like,
bugs.
what is this? I don't care.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. If it was like cars, you'd be like, boo.
So anyway, there's a topic everybody knows, animal, and then the guy writes down which animal they want it to be.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's lion. That is what we used. I'm really just using my memory here.
Good memory, Brittany.
Good memory. applying my memory in the real world.
There you go. You're doing it, sweetie.
In the real world in a pod that's
In
not
the
real.
world,
It's not a real conversation.
It's going to live on YouTube for 50 people to see.
So everyone gets a tile that has the animal name on it. One person gets a tile that has an X on it, so they don't know what the animal is. And then the goal, you get a whiteboard that's passed around, and each person has to draw one thing, like something really simple, like a line or like a shape or whatever, that indicates what the animal is. So what you're trying to do is let everyone else who knows it's a lion that you know it's a lion.
Oh.
And you're trying to prevent the X from being able to do something that where they fit in as though they know what it is.
Gotcha. So you're trying to figure out who doesn't know what the animal is by the
what
shapes
they draw.
they're drawing. Yes.
So every shape, it's not meant to be like you just draw a lion, because then the X is going to know. So you might draw like, I think I drew like a piece of their mane or something, you know? And so everyone who has it kind of is like, oh, that makes sense. Brittany's probably not the X.
Yeah.
You know? But then the X can see enough cues that they can kind of like fit in even if they don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
So then it becomes, at the end, you get to accuse the person.
I love games where you get to accuse people.
Oh my God, me too.
There's
like trying
remember
to
that werewolf game where you have to figure out who's a werewolf? I love
those kinds of games.
those ones where it's like, it's you, motherfucker. I love confrontation.
This one was that, but it was so much funnier because you're seeing people's terrible drawings. Another thing is you can't lift your pen off when you're drawing. So it's a one-line thing. So it really limits what you can do. So it's just funny. Every time someone draws something, you're making fun of them. Yeah. And also there's all this, you get to see how people lie and how they try and like fit in.
Okay, this
great.
isn't insane. You get to see how people lie.
You get to understand lying better and use it in your real life later.
Brittany's a robot. Brittany's a fucking robot.
And I love lying when it's okay. I think it's very fun because I think I'm bad at it when it's like when it might affect somebody. I'm not going to do it. And if I had to, I'm going to be bad at it. Because
you'll have like the emotional weight of...
Yes.
Yeah.
But in this situation, it's like fun to just... I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. We're all having fun lying together.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try my best. And I'm not going to worry about it.
Oh my God, Brittany. God, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah. Oh, and then at one point, so one of the rounds, is it interesting to hear about a game I played?
The way that you're talking about it is.
Okay, good. One of the rounds, the topic was movies. I hate.
I know you hate movies.
I love movies, but I was like, I don't know any movies. And I was the X. So that was a problem. And I didn't know what the topic was, but people were drawing like, there was a sun, and the first movie I thought of was Eternal Sunshine in the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
I saw it earlier this year. And so that got in my head, and I was like, that's it. You don't remember any other movies because you're just thinking about this movie.
What if it was The Passion of the Christ?
It could have been anything.
And
it's
the
a sun.
sun was representing the Son of God.
Yeah.
That's something I would do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So I had no idea what it was, and I couldn't get that out of my head. So then I couldn't even think of any other movies. It was really not working. So I decided I was just going to draw shapes that I thought had like a really generic, broad interpretation. So I drew infinity first.
Okay, if it was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I was also like, that could apply to so many movies.
Totally.
Movies about time, movies about, I don't know. It's just a symbol everyone applies whatever they want to.
Totally.
So then I draw that, and Dwayne goes, oh, yeah. And I'm like, I guess I hit on something. The movie was Little Mermaid.
What?
So he thinks I'm drawing the shell bra.
The boobs?
Which does fit pretty well.
Yeah.
But I still don't even know what it is. And I'm like, okay, infinity worked. And so the next round, the other thing too is when you're the X, you have to also fit in with people evaluating other people's drawings.
Oh yeah, so you have to be there and like go there and be like, oh, interesting choice there.
Oh, that fits with the, you
totally,
have to like,
yeah. No, that part of it, yeah.
And then the next round, I still had no idea. People drawn like there's like 10 shapes on the board and I can't put it together. It was very obvious in the end. And so I draw a spiral, which I also felt like is just...
It could be a shell.
It could be anything.
It could be a shell in the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, but I still don't know it's the Little Mermaid.
I know. Sorry, I'm
But then
connecting the
Dwayne
dots.
goes, oh, yeah! Spiral! And he's like, oh, that's a really good one. That's like a deep cut of the... He didn't say that, but like he meant that. Like it was like a really like unique thing to remember.
The thing that she wears on her necklace, the little shell. Oh, wait,
I didn't remember that part. He was thinking, I mean, that could apply too, but he was thinking at the very end of the movie, when Ursula, she like makes waves and she makes a huge like whirlpool with her.
Oh.
Because she has like
I remember
the king's whatever.
Yeah.
And that was a really big part of the movie, but I didn't remember that at all. And nobody else did either. At the end, Dwayne was like mad nobody remembered the spiral. And he seemingly mad that I like got him with my spiral. He was so proud of his girlfriend for remembering a spiral in Little Mermaid. Oh!
He's like, that's my favorite part of the movie.
He talked about that for like 3 days after Thanksgiving.
That's so stupid. God, that's so funny.
Anyway, that game is incredible, and I was like way too into it.
Yeah.
Like I was like a dog that wants to keep playing when everyone's done.
Yeah.
And I was letting everybody know, but I was also like, we don't have to play, but I really, really like this game.
I was
and
like,
we're hosting, by the way.
By the way, we're hosting, so this is my party, and I want to play more.
By the way, we paid for all this. So.
You don't have to, but I would like to play more, please.
It's probably one of my favorite games I've ever played.
That's fun. I was about to be like, dude, we should play that game on the pod, but it's just 2 of us.
Yeah.
We'll have Maxim play with us.
Yeah. We should get a group together and play though. You don't need a board, you just need ideas.
Oh yeah, you could just do a piece of paper. Yeah. Should we get into our joint stupid story?
We have a joint story.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's a pretty good one.
It's better the further away in my memory it is too. It's
totally.
just like really ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. Do you wanna break the news?
All right, guys. So me and Ali got robbed.
Yep, we got mugged together leaving the podcast studio.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I know.
That's so much better than like a friendship necklace.
Dude, we are yeah, a shared trauma.
Yeah.
It's also like we are never gonna beat the allegations that we're always together.
Yeah. They couldn't rob us separately. They
know.
probably tried. They probably see us leave this building all the time.
I know.
And they're like, well, it's going to have to be a double.
Yeah. Where they're like, there's 2 of us and 2 of them, I guess.
Yeah.
But so leaving the podcast studio, we walked down the street and 2 guys pulled guns on us.
Don't get any ideas, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this next part, you're going to have to deal with if you try to rob us, but...
What?
Never mind.
I'm not following.
Well, what I was going to say is basically they like pulled guns on us.
Yeah.
And I
and we're on a dark corner.
Yeah, like it's like a very dark street. But right around the corner was the train station.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I would like to say we love our studio.
Yes.
And they did everything in their power to make sure everybody was safe once we told them this happened. It has nothing to do with the studio. I want to make sure that that's clear.
And also, before we say anything, obviously, we didn't get hurt. We're fine.
Oh, we're fine.
Everything's
yes,
fine.
obviously.
Nobody
oh my
got
God. Yeah, nobody got shot. Imagine if I was like, and I have a gunshot wound.
Yeah.
God, if I had a gunshot wound, I would not ever
we have
stop.
matching wounds. Matching trauma.
That's better than friendship bracelets.
Yeah, way better than friendship bracelets.
When
we link arms, the wounds they touch.
Dude, we were holding hands. And they shot through both of our hands.
So we're leaving the studio, and it's funny because we're leaving the studio. We had a fun episode, and then we're leaving, and we're continuing the riffs.
Oh yes,
Yeah, we're like walking down the street, having a great time. We're like laughing.
I know, totally.
Yeah,
we're just like it was so funny when you said that.
Yeah, we're like,
and then somebody was like, "Give me all your stuff."
Yeah. Oh, here's another crazy thing. In that episode we did that day, at the end of it, this has been posted already. At the end of that ep, so go back, look for clues about what was about to happen to us.
I know.
At the end of that episode, we read a post about someone who was chugging hot sauce in a job interview. And there was a time when me and Ali were riffing about her forcing me to chug hot sauce at gunpoint.
Yeah.
So that was right. That was 10 minutes before we got guns pointed at us. And at the end of that episode, I never posted it because there was so much going on that night.
Oh, yeah.
But we took a picture in the studio like we always do.
Yes.
And we're like, what should we do this time? What's going to be our like move?
Yeah. And I was
Allie points a finger gun at my head. It's like we made it happen to us.
So
we manifested it.
We manifested it.
We got to be careful what we say in this pod.
I know.
Not for our jobs or any political reasons.
I take back the thing I said about our hands getting shot together. Dude, what if we high-fived and somebody shot at us and we got identical hand gunshot wounds because we're high-fiving?
I wonder what else we've manifested in this pod that we don't know about.
Yeah, who knows? But
anyway, so it's funny because we're having so much fun hanging, and then it happens. Oh, also, sorry, I'm going on the timeline a little bit here, but later on when we're at the police station watching the camera footage, that was really funny too. You didn't get to see it.
Oh.
But like they brought me back there. You were still in the front.
Yeah.
And they were showing us all the camera footage from the street. And I'd given them the timestamp so they knew like when to start looking for it. And I told them, I was like, we're going to be walking down the street. You're going to see these guys here or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we come on screen and it just looks so funny because we're like, we're like visibly having so much fun.
We're like two Muppets. We're moving around like Muppets on the street corner. We're just
like a minute later, guns pointed.
just like riffing and
we were probably yelling. We're always yelling after we're walking down the street like, what about that?
I know.
I like bugs.
Yes. So it's just funny to also think about the robber's point of view. Like they're like, we should get these two.
Yeah.
They're clearly a little slow.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. They're like,
is this developmentally appropriate for this robbery?
I know. Yeah, they're trying to think if it's like woke.
Yeah.
But so basically what happens in the actual robbery is these two guys, they jump out from behind a car and they're like, give us all your stuff. And so Brittany and I are like going through our purse and getting our shit out.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. If you rob,
you're
just
give it away. You're just supposed to give your shit over. And the next thing that I'm about to say.
That's what you should all do.
Yes. Because it's not worth your life.
No.
The next thing I'm about to say, nobody ever do. This is bad advice, and I did it wrong, by the way. So what happened was I took my phone and my wallet out, and I was like, I had like a moment where I was like,
you just were holding them for a sec?
I had both of them in my hands, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to the DMV. And then I was like, I'm not doing this. So then I look up, and I'm like, Nancy Druin. And I look up the guy.
That's crazy you had the time. Well, I was like,
it all
why are you
happened
handing me this?
Dude, I had it. It was like this.
Yeah.
Like all of these thoughts happened like so quickly. Like in the time it took for you to hand your phone over.
Yeah.
I was like looking around. So he's like pointing a gun at Brittany.
Yeah.
And
you had a gun on you too.
I don't even remember. I don't even know if he was pointing anything at me.
Oh.
I didn't see. I don't think he was.
Both had guns.
No, I think
but I only was looking at my guy.
You got the gun guy.
Oh.
And so I look up.
Because that's another reason I was like, that's crazy you did what you did if you had a gun on you.
Yeah, I mean, well, if he had a gun, I didn't, or if he had one, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I look up and the guy, they're both like fucking teenagers, by the way.
Yeah. Probably 18. 20.
Yeah, they were probably super young. And you could tell, like, looking back on maybe I'm making this up, but looking back on it, the way that they reacted was like, they hadn't done this a lot before. Yeah. So I look up.
But none of that was obvious in the moment. I'm just
of course, because you're scared.
Oh!
Totally.
Yeah.
But he's like pointing a gun at Brittany, and I look up, there's a street light behind him, and I look up and I see like a Mountain Dew green squirt gun.
Yeah.
I could see through the gun, and it has that little thing that goes to the end. And I was like, that's a fake gun. And I say it out loud.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's a fake fucking gun. The guy was just like, oh, give me all your stuff. And in my mind, he was...
Man, their voices changed a lot
The way that I remember it, but this probably is me making up memories, was he was nervous when I pointed it out because I want to be the hero, obviously, in my own memory.
Well, they probably were. Because they were probably trying to act intense and then... and
get it done quickly.
Yeah.
And he was like, just give me all your stuff, ma'am.
Yeah.
And... I was like, no, that's a fake fucking gun. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to scream, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I screamed at the top of my lungs, help.
Yeah.
And then they bolted away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you did get your phone taken.
Yeah. So I had already given him my phone. And I was just freaking out. And so I couldn't do anything and I couldn't remember anything. He was like, what's your passcode? But I couldn't remember because I was too scared. So then I was like, give me the phone. I'll show you on the keypad. But then it was already open. So then I was just confused. Like nothing made any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then you screamed and he like ran away.
Yeah.
Phone. So yeah, they had that. And then, another thing we saw in the security footage, I don't know if you saw this part because I don't know if we went back or what, but they showed like afterwards. Oh no, I think only I saw it. When the guys were running, right before that, there was a guy like in the park.
No, I saw
this. You
did
see this.
Yeah.
There was a guy like near the park and he heard all the commotion and then you see him go like, oh, and he like walks around the corner. He's like, I'm not going to get involved in this.
Totally. Which
and he's like peering around the corner. And stuff.
Yeah. Which at first I was like, what the hell? But I was like, dude, if I was that guy, I would not get involved.
I would, no. I'd be
Obviously.
what am I going to do? Run up?
Yeah, and be like, you stop that. And
I can
to a
see
guy
you.
who has a gun, maybe.
I can see you.
Yeah. Hey.
That's like the best you could do to stay safe or stay safe.
Yeah. Totally. And so do not have any problem with that guy at all.
Yeah.
But so what happens next is like we're both like, what do we do? Because like both of us at the time, I was like, neither of us are hurt. Mm-hmm. You got your phone stolen.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But I'm like, do we call the police? So I tried calling a non-emergency number and they didn't pick up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we should call 911. It took us like maybe 5 minutes to figure out that we should call 911.
Yeah. And then we had to explain that later. They're like,
yes.
Wait, so you were over here, but you called us from here.
Yeah. Totally.
I was like, yeah, we called you guys.
Yeah, because I was like, because nobody was shot. Like, I don't know.
911 because it took us 5 minutes, we were lying about being robbed.
I was like, Brittany, give me your phone.
Yeah. Ooh, this will be fun.
Yeah.
They did at one point. They're like, oh, so you guys have a podcast, huh? They're like, do you ever do anything to get content for the pod, you know?
Yeah, I know. There's like
they were just kidding with us, but it was
but both of us were like, no, because we're in a police precinct.
Yeah.
So we like fucking, this part's not very exciting. The cops show up. We have to tell the story a million fucking times.
Yeah.
They drive around.
Every 3 minutes, a new cop came around the corner
and made us tell the story again.
Asked us to tell the story.
Yeah.
I was like, are they doing this on purpose to get consistency?
Probably.
But why? I guess maybe.
It's probably just protocol because
it also seemed like interest. Like it seemed like nothing was going on. That's why they let us hang out and
they just wanted
look
to
at camera footage for an hour.
Dude, we stayed for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably like protocol for consistency reasons, even if it's not a thing that you would necessarily lie about. You know what I mean?
But nobody wrote anything down.
The detective did write stuff down.
Okay.
When we were finally in the precinct, she was like writing stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you had to write it on the police report.
Yeah. I just mean like for consistency. It's not like each person was like
detail.
But yeah, it's not like they're getting an alibi from the perpetrator or the suspect.
Yeah. And then they make us get in a squad car and drive around. They're like, are you sure it's not that guy? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's not that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable thing to do because they kept like pointing at black guys in hoods and being like, that seems like the guy you described. And I'm like, I promise it wasn't him.
And seeming like they already know some of these people and think that they're up to no good, which maybe that's true. Maybe they have some past stuff, but it's like, yeah, but we can't just accuse them of this so that you can get them for other stuff.
Also,
that's part of the issue.
Totally. Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
And so
I was like, I cannot say I'm going to identify. I don't remember looking at their faces really.
Yes. I don't remember what they look like.
I probably glanced at his face at some point,
mm-hmm.
but I don't remember. And I know too much about wrongful convictions and eyewitness memory.
Yes.
That I was like, I am not going to be in this.
Because of your PhD, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did remember what they were wearing, and I did remember that accurately.
Yeah.
But so they drive around. They try to get us to point out unsuspecting people on the street.
When we got to the precinct, they're like, you want to look at a bunch of photos and just pick some people out or what?
Yeah, and both of us were like, we don't fucking remember them.
Yeah.
They were like, we got some guys that we really want to get.
Yeah. There were some pretty clear. I mean, we all know about these problems in the justice system and especially with cops, but it was so clear.
Dude.
Like none of them were even like, people think this is a problem. Maybe we should try and deal with it.
Yeah.
At least not make it public if we think this is okay.
Yes.
But they were just saying all of it to us.
Totally. Yeah, that's the other thing.
They were letting us know about all their biases and not thinking about it as a problem.
Yes.
The first thing they said, I don't remember the words they used. At first, I thought they were being reflective and that they were doing a joke where they're like, we know this is the issue and that this is... I thought they were doing a thing that really made sense. Like, they know and that they're not like that. But then they made so many other comments. I was like,
dude,
nope.
It was really crazy. It felt like, I don't know if you've ever watched Reno 911.
Yeah.
Where it's like cops just being outwardly racist and homophobic.
Yes.
Like on call and shit. And those guys were doing that shit to us, which was like
the whole time.
Like there was this, oh man. There was one time where like this one guy who, okay, by the way, we get to the precinct. They take our statement. They're like, oh, do you want to look at security cam footage? And Brittany goes over to look at the security cam footage. And I'm with the 2 cops who picked us up. And they're like, he's like, oh, you guys are comics, right? I love Kill Tony.
Oh, man.
And I was like, how old are you guys? They were both younger than me. And I was like, yeah. And he's
These guys are in our listener group, I guess.
He's like, he was like, crowd work is like 80% of stand-up, right? And I was like, I fucking hate this so much. This is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
So then you're looking at security cam footage, and then they call me over to also look at it. And then there's another guy. So it must have been a really slow day at the precinct.
Everyone was hanging with us.
Everybody at the precinct was hanging out on our case.
There was like eight people.
Yes.
Talking to us,
totally.
hanging, making racist comments.
Yes. Yeah, big time. And then like one of the guys was like, I was like, where's this footage from? And they were like, yeah, we just got cameras on the street. Isn't that crazy how many cameras we have?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude.
They also kept making fun of that guy. They're like, this guy will never work on his own cases. You see this pile? There's like a pile of like 10 case files.
Yes.
That he will not open.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I want to look at the security cam footage for these 2 girls.
Which also felt like, it did just feel like TV police stuff.
Yes, 100%.
It's like really unorganized.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are racist. I'll keep saying it.
Yeah. No, big time.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at security cam footage. We find the guys, like, whatever. There's a lot of, like, chatting. There was one point where that one police officer who was, like, really talking to us was, like, he was like, where are all the muggers on TV? What? I got a whole case file. And I was like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Then he's like, look in my computer.
Yeah, he's like, go look at my computer.
Yeah.
And he's like, just kidding. I was like, nice save, dude.
Yeah.
And then everybody else cracked up. And I was like, that was obviously a joke. You didn't save anything, bro.
Yeah.
You were just literally racist. He's like, I think there should be more black muggers on TV. And it's like, he didn't say that like word for word, but that's basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ. TV also has like, you know, like Game of Thrones on it with dragons. So who cares? Why do you care so much about like your specific worldview of stuff on TV? Anyway, and I don't know, we're chatting. Oh, and the thing that keeps coming up is we have to tell this story like a million fucking times.
Yes.
And we're like, so we're walking from our podcast studio.
Oh, right.
And at one point they were like, podcast? You guys got a what's the name of it?
Yeah.
And we're like,
so now they're looking up our podcast in front of us.
Yeah.
And then at one point, the lady, she's like, they're looking at their phones and she's like, so how many followers do you have?
Yeah, I know. And I did not want to say. I didn't want to be like, yeah, so we were mugged leaving our podcast that we make no money on.
That we pay to do.
Yeah, that we pay to do.
Because we're friends.
We have a humble following.
And that's when they said, do you guys ever like get into things?
Yeah.
Just for your...
Yeah, and we were like, no.
So then they're watching. He's like, which episode should I listen to? He's scrolling through the YouTube and he's reading out titles.
He's saying the titles out loud.
Which are crazy titles.
Which are always crazy because that's what gets hits on YouTube. It's like, too many dog balls, eating guacamole with my bush out,
vomiting into sentience.
Mommy, I pissed my goth pants on the bus.
When boogers were big.
Reading our
They
titles.
also are very childish.
No,
now.
they're all
like a lot
stupid.
of them are. Yeah.
Yeah. But because it works. It fucking works, dude. And he's like, I'm not into this, but I'm gonna watch this one.
He watched a clip from our Instagram or something?
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna watch this one, eating guacamole with my bush out. And I was like, Andrea Allen is a very funny comedian, and that's a great podcast.
And then we're getting to the end, right? Then,
oh, yeah. Can I tell the part at the end?
Yeah.
From my point of view?
Before you tell this part, as I was doing what I did, I don't think I was considering how racist they had been the whole time. As you were saying all this, I was like, oh, why didn't I incorporate that into my thinking?
Well,
but I know why.
Well, I know why. It's because, there's fight, there's flight, and there's fawn.
Yeah.
And I will admit, we shouldn't have done this, but I will admit, we were like joking around with them because we were in a police precinct and police do crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was like we were together, so that was good. But like we were all like, yeah.
Honestly,
yeah. No, you're right. There should be.
After the danger was over, it was like a super fun, interesting night. And I thought about it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the last thing,
it was like a real. I mean, other than all the racist stuff, it was like a very like.
It was exciting.
Yeah, it was like being in a movie.
Dude, we got into one of the squad cars. It was a van. And then I look on the floor and there's a bunch of caution tape and a bunch of like plastic like sheets on the ground. And I'm like,
messy.
Is there a crime scene in here?
Yeah.
Is there going to be blood on this?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I took a picture of it, by the way.
Oh, nice.
And I also took a picture in the precinct when you were writing the report. There was just a flyer hung on the wall that had it said racism, homophobia, sexual assault, and it had a big Ghostbusters symbol over it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, the NYPD is really working hard on this, I guess. They just put up flyers that say, no.
And they look at it like it's a reminder of topic points.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, more racism, more homophobia, more sexual assault. Okay, cool. So, the last thing that happened before we leave, there was like a weird point where it became clear that we were mostly just hanging out and we didn't have to be there.
Whoa. This is important. This is something I forgot because as you were making fun of me for this, which you guys will find out in a second, I was like, oh yeah, why did I do that? That doesn't. But they were asking us, they were like, so where, you guys are comedians? Oh, so you perform? They're like,
That's
where
right.
do you perform?
That's right.
So it kind of made sense. Anyway, keep going.
So
that's what I had to do to make myself feel okay about it.
No, totally. And what you did was absolutely normal and acceptable. So what happens next is like we're about to leave and Brittany was like, so actually I have my special taping on December 3rd if you guys want to come.
Did I give them flyers?
No, you didn't. You didn't have any flyers.
I didn't have flyers.
But you were like, I got a special taping if you guys want to come. And I was
then
like,
we lingered for a long time.
I was like, Brittany, we just got mugged and you're doing promo? I'm like, the grind never ends. The grind never ends. Like literally.
And they didn't show up. And
well,
not that I know of.
We could have gotten shot and you would have been in the hospital being like, I have a special December 3rd. I have a taping. Do you want to come? I'll give you a comp.
It was so funny.
God, so fucking crazy.
Yeah, comedy is insane.
Oh, and then, oh my God, we have to talk about when we left.
That's what I was just about to do.
Oh, okay, go ahead. You can tell it.
Although, you should tell it because I don't remember what he said. I'll tell you the first part. We're leaving the precinct finally.
Oh, so we called Dave and Dwayne because they were actually hanging out.
Yeah. We ruined their game night with their boys. They had to pick up their girlfriends from a robbery.
Wait, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
So it was Dave, Dwayne, Eli Uden, and Joe Nunnick.
Yeah.
Hanging out. And I was supposed to join. And you were going to maybe join for a minute, but you were tired.
Yeah.
So basically, when we were leaving, or Dave told me that Joe Nunnick, they were like leaving to pick us up. And Joe was like, wait, why are you guys leaving? They're fine, right? They're fine, right, though? And then Dave was like, our girlfriends got mugged.
Yeah.
They are fine, but we're going to go pick them up. And he's like, wait, but
their guns were fake, though.
Dude, you know what he said? He was like, I guess Brittany did get her phone stolen and it sucks to lose all your photos.
Yeah.
I was like, Joe, what the fuck?
I saw him like 2 days after that.
Yeah.
I did his show. And that's all I could think about. Was that's how he interpreted what happened. Like, he's like, oh, Brittany's all... And also, that's what he thinks of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, upset about my photos.
Yeah, no, he shows up and he's like, how you doing, buddy?
He did ask me,
actually. I heard you lost all your photos from your phone.
Yeah.
Not that you got guns pointed at you. Yeah. Not that you were in a precinct for 2 hours.
Yeah. Not that you were worried about personal data being used against you.
Yeah, totally. And the whole time, like, obviously, the scary part about getting your phone stolen is that your fucking credit cards are on there, your email is on there, like, all this insane shit. And so like
you
that
don't know
was a
what
big part of
abilities
it.
they have to like get into it and everything.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Dave and Dwayne are coming to pick us up. We're waiting outside the precinct, which you think we're like, we're done with all this stuff tonight. We're
we
done
got
with
mugged
all
again.
the scary stuff. We walk outside and then you tell the rest.
So we're walking out. We walk outside. We're waiting for Dave and Dwayne to show up. This guy, he pulls up. He gets out of his car. He goes into the police station, like talks to them for a bit, and then leaves. And then he walks by us, and then walks back, and he's like, "Listen, you guys are beautiful. I just got to shoot my shot here." And I'm like, "I have a boyfriend." And then he looks at you and I'm like, "She has a boyfriend too." And then he's like, "All right, okay, well, you treat your boyfriend right, I guess." And then he gets back in his car and I turn to Brittany and I'm like, "What if I had gotten raped tonight?
Oh, God.
What if I was outside the precinct because I had gotten raped and then this guy came up and was like, 'Hey, sweetheart.'" It's like so insane that fucking happened.
I know.
That was so crazy.
And then a taxi pulls up. And the taxi driver runs out in this frantic, like he's like frantic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's going on. I'm like worried the girl's like really sick.
I thought the girl was having a medical emergency.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with the police. Apparently the girl just wouldn't pay the taxi driver.
Yeah.
So he drove her to the police station.
And
I wonder how often that happens.
I mean, I'm sure it happens pretty often.
Yeah.
And then the cab gets his money and the drunk girl gets out and the police walk away.
And she needed help.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, it was so crazy.
That was crazy.
But so we got mugged.
We got mugged.
And Brittany has a new phone. She got a new phone the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it sucks, but so whoever mugged us, have fun with Brittany's iPhone 11, asshole.
Also, I've been tracking you on Find My iPhone. I mean, it's now gone. Like, the thing is like 2 weeks old now, but I was for a few days. I was taking screenshots, sending it to the detective.
Have they contacted you at all?
No, I contacted them and I was like, "Do you want me to keep sending these or not, dude? Like, do you want to go on another date or not?" I felt like desperate to like keep giving them information about the case.
Yeah.
And she was like, because it'll give an address and it does have a radius where it's like probably in this area, but here's the address. And it was right about where we were in the studio.
Yeah.
Remember, like,
yes,
when we first got robbed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
made a mistake.
Thought so. Ali and I have each other's locations on our phone because we're pretty good friends, and
pretty good friends.
We don't have that trauma thing yet, but no, we do. Never mind. What am I?
Yeah, we do have the trauma thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
honestly, we were like, it was a trauma, and then at the end, we were like, it was kind of fun, actually.
It was an experience. So anyway, we first looked at Allie's phone after the robbery when we were with the cops. We were like, "Oh, we have each other's locations. You can maybe see where I'm at." And it said they were in the podcast studio.
Yes.
So we're like, "Oh, maybe they just ran in there.
Maybe
sometimes
they live
the doors
in this
open.
Building, 'cause this building is also residential." And so I was like, "We have to go there now."
So then the cops drive us over there.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, we're gonna get them.
We're gonna
These
get
idiots."
'em. Yeah, but I also was like, how? There's no way they're going at every fucking door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it has to be, you have to have a warrant to get in somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're going to be, also it's like, okay, if it's in a location in the building, it's that fucking accurate. They don't know if it's on the 3rd floor or the 4th floor. Like, I'm like, there's no way they're going to get it knowing what building it's in. That's not helpful. Like, for a big apartment building in New York.
So then they go there, though, and they're, like, talking to people, and then they come out, and they're like, "Oh, so did you check when that was last updated?" And it was updated a long time ago.
Like half an hour ago. And I was like,
so it's like, oh, that's just when we were in our studio.
We were just in the studio. So if I had not found that out.
Our podcast is about stupidity, so that's why we said that.
If I had not found that out, imagine if the police came in and broke down the door of the podcast studio. And they were like, "Freeze!" And Maxim is like,
Maxim.
like eating Chinese food and like working on edits or something.
It's Connor starting to try and talk to people about his studio
and he's like,
equipment.
"I have a new equipment.
I got new equipment. I've got a new camera. We got new lights. What do you want from me?"
Yeah. And I'm like, that's him. God. So yeah, we fucked up in that way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. I was just like, oh my God, it's here. We got to go there right now.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know
and I was
that.
calling my brother. I was like, so check this out, Casey. We know where they're at and the cops are taking us. Do you want to meet us here?
Yeah, I
I
know.
was supposed to meet my brother for dinner that night.
That's right.
the
We were
other
about to
thing.
meet your brother
Yeah.
for dinner and we got robbed on the way.
Oh my God, wait. This has to be in the pod. This is so funny. So like the next day I get my phone back, or I get a new phone, right? And I have like a voicemail from my little brother and I check it. And this is like, he was calling me that night, I think. This is the voicemail.
Oh my God,
Did you
can't
hear
wait.
this? Did
No.
I tell you about this?
No, you didn't. I don't even know about this. I can't
Oh my
wait.
God, Ellie. Let me make sure my volume's all the way up. So I get this voicemail. It's my little brother. Calling my phone that got robbed.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I suggest you return the cell phone.
Wait, hold on. Can you hold? I didn't hear it. Could you hold the bottom of the
Oh,
phone
yeah.
to it? That's
Oh,
where the speakers
that's what
are.
it is. Of course.
Play it again.
I suggest you return the cell phone.
Wait, for everybody who didn't hear, he said, I suggest you return the cell phone.
Return the cell phone.
He's like, I am a pilot for American Airlines. I will put you under sky arrest if you don't return the cell
I
phone.
suggest you. Here's a suggestion.
I suggest.
Return the cell phone.
Dude, imagine
Why I oughta.
if they.
Why you oughta to return the cell phone. Dude, it's not even threatening. But he like lowered his voice and made it all more like
gravelly, like Batman.
It's so good. Oh man,
That's so fucking funny. I didn't know
forget
about
if
that.
I told him that about that or not.
Oh my God,
I
that's
gotta
so
tell him about
funny.
that.
Yeah,
It's
you
so
do.
funny.
And also, like, I hope they listen to it
Yeah,
because that was probably a big laugh for them.
They actually, that was around the time. I think it said 8:55.
That was literally moments. We were probably like
They
in
may
the
have been
police-
able to
probably.
hear that. Yeah. That's so funny.
I also
There's also the transcription beneath it.
I suggest you return the cell phone. Dude, what did he think was gonna happen? They were gonna be
I
like,
don't
"Oh
know.
God, this guy's scary."
I don't
sounding."
know. I think my brother like called my phone thinking he could talk to me, forgetting maybe.
Yeah, and then it went.
And
to
then
voicemail.
it went to voicemail. And he's like, I should do something.
and he panicked.
So he like was like, I suggest you return the
he was
phone
like,
call.
I suggest you return the cell phone.
He doesn't say who he is or
Yeah.
how he has any power to make
I
them
know.
return the
Yeah,
phone.
I
Just a thought. Just a thought.
If you guys want,
Yeah.
please.
So anyway, I'm sending the detective screenshots.
Yeah.
And she's like, this girl will not stop texting me.
Yeah, and then you're like,
I was
wow.
like, do you want me to do this or not? And she was like, honestly, no, it's not that helpful. And
Okay, cool.
I'm like, don't. Because the reason I thought it would still be helpful, even if it was not that accurate, is because they were showing us camera corners. They're like, we're going to
Yes.
check this corner. He probably went this way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, obviously, if you see him, we know he was in this area. You can check that corner if you have a camera.
And it also seems like they were trying to find like what building they went into or something like that. I feel like they were probably just doing that to like make us feel better.
I think also they probably just moved on the next day. They're
no,
like, we have other
100%.
cases.
Yeah.
This is just in that guy's pile.
They took
now.
your poster and they crumpled it up and threw it out.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not going to this fucking show. $10. What the hell?
$10. What?
Okay, one more thing about the robbery, and then I think we could probably end it, right?
Yeah. I forget when we started, but
around this time.
Mhm.
But so did you get a call from the
Yes.
precinct?
for victims.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a call in the middle of the day on like a week later, and a guy was like, "Hey, so I'm with the NYPD victims unit. I just want to make sure, see if you like
Special
need
victims?
anything or if you have any questions. I'm just checking in."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, like did they catch him?
Yeah.
And
Me too.
like, is
He
there
called
any?"
us back to back, same exact questions.
Yeah. And I was like, "Did you catch him?" And he's like, "Are there any leads?" And he's like, I could give you the phone number of the detective." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's all my questions then."
yeah,
It's like so insane.
he's
like,
got to present himself differently.
Yeah.
because that's gonna be the question he
well,
gets.
also these programs are put in place to help people,
Yeah.
and then funding goes to SWAT gear for the NYPD and not to programs that actually help people.
Yeah.
And also, like, yes, we were robbed. It was scary for a moment. We're not like hyper. It's not like we need therapy or any additional services that we can't get ourselves. I want these systems to exist for people who are actually harmed in crimes.
Or if they were gonna not make assumptions about what we needed, but to try and be helpful, he could be like, I understand you were robbed. Here are some things you can do.
Yeah.
These might be helpful.
Or why don't you
give us resources that some people do appreciate and not just be like, so what do you think? Anything you're thinking about?
Totally. He literally called me up and he was like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And I was like, to know what happened. And he's like, I can't do that. And I was like, well, I guess this phone call's over.
Yeah.
It was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, luckily nobody was hurt. Also, I'm going to say it. Don't ever yell at a...
Don't do what we did.
Because like after the fact, I was like, damn, I knew that I was like 100% sure that gun was fake.
Yeah.
But they could have just decided to beat the shit out of us or
True.
something.
I didn't think about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I did put us in danger. Luckily, those guys were like scared and whatever.
Yeah.
Do yell for help though. Yell for help. Make kind of a ruckus. You have to do that. But don't be like, you bitch. Like,
no.
Like I was like, that's a fake gun, you fucking pussy.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said. Definitely not that. But like,
don't yell for help if you're in a place where there is nobody to help.
Yeah. Totally.
Just do
the thing.
Yeah.
You can get your.
We were right around
back.
the corner, so it did make sense to yell. But I wasn't thinking about that because I was like,
yeah. Well,
this gun's real.
I turned the corner after screaming help at the top of my lungs. Business as usual.
Yeah, I know.
It was really crazy.
There's like 30 people right there.
Yeah. It was the Morgan L station.
Also, crazy that the cops are like, there's no camera on that corner.
I know. Yeah.
Or there's a camera, but there's no good view of that area.
Yeah. Totally.
And it's like right next to the train.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
So stay safe out there and
look out for the movie we're writing about this together. Yeah. What's it called, Ellie?
The worst movie ever. The movie where nothing happens.
Two girls having fun at the police precinct.
Yeah, that's right.